Morning, everybody.
Morning, Your Honor.
Morning, Judge.
Morning.
Morning. Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. I think we have one Spanish speaker.
Yes, Your Honor, the Spanish speaker is on the, sorry, the Spanish interpreter is on the line.
Your Honor, I believe that may be Assistant Attorney General Mora's case. I tried
That
messaging them. Okay.
I'm logged on.
Okay, perfect. So maybe we can, and do you have that file, number 15? So we can get the interpreter taken care of first. Thank you.
Good morning, Nanette.
Morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is the county jail. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, we're having a fiesta here, man. Good to see you, though.
Would we be able to bring Santiscoy Martinez first?
Absolutely, but if I may advance the court, we had some refusals this morning, Your Honor.
Sure. Okay.
Dana Gray,
Gray. Oh, Diana Gray. Okay.
Quincy Brown,
Okay.
Gabriel Cortez,
Okay.
Mr. Diaz Martinez, and Mr. Rivera.
Michael Rivera. And is he
Aaron Diaz Martinez.
Diaz? Okay. These are like all the review hearing guys. So for the people that have review hearings, what I'll do is just affirm the next review hearing and go from there. So Gabriel Cortez, his next review hearing is April 14th at 9 a.m. He has charges out of Nogales. It's held on bond. And Mr. Diaz Martinez, April 14th at 9, bond remains, charges out of Cochise County. And Mr. Rivera, Michael Rivera, same date, April 14th at 9 a.m. and charges out of Cochise County. And then I will, Miss Gray, we will reset her to the evening initial appearances. And Mr. Brown, we'll reset him to tonight as well. Okay, that's everybody.
Are you ready for Mr. Alcantar, Your Honor?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, did you?
Right. Good morning, sir. Is your true name Luis Santoscoy Martinez?
Oh, hold on.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh.
Your Honor, give me a second.
Sounds good.
Yes, seating arrangement issue.
Good morning, sir. Is your true name Luis Santoscoy Martinez?
Buenos días, señor. Su nombre es Luis Santos Coy Martínez.
Sí.
Yes.
This is a time set for an initial appearance. You have been arrested on charges of possession of a dangerous drug for sale, possession of a narcotic drug for sale, illegally conducting an enterprise, simple possession of a narcotic drug and dangerous drug, and possession of drug paraphernalia.
And Your Honor, interpreter couldn't hear the charge previous to drug paraphernalia were what?
Simple possession of a narcotic drug and a dangerous drug.
Okay, thank you.
Ujú.
Señor, esta es su comparecencia inicial y ha sido arrestado por los cargos de posesión de una droga peligrosa para la venta, de una droga narcótica para la venta, de realizar o gestionar una empresa ilegal por poseer una droga peligrosa, una droga narcótica y por contener adminículos de drogas.
I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you today.
Y voy a nombrar a la Defensoría Pública para que lo represente el día de hoy.
And then what is the Attorney General, Nanette, what is your recommendation?
Your Honor, we're asking for a $50,000 cash bond based on this defendant selling on 2 separate occasions. And then during the search warrant, fentanyl pills were found along with a gun and other paraphernalia in the house. So working with multiple accomplices based on them selling large quantities of meth and fentanyl, and an undetermined immigration status, we ask that he be held on a $50,000 cash bond.
Thank you.
Bueno, su señoría, dice la fiscal Nanette que ella recomienda que que sea retenido con una fianza de $50,000 en efectivo, 50,000. Y la venta, por debido a que ha estado en 2 ocasiones separadas, ha vendido drogas, tiene una orden de cateo. Y en la orden de cateo se le encontró que tenía fentanil, tenía armas y también tenía los adminículos de droga. Estaba trabajando con cómplices para la venta de narcóticos y también que tenía una gran cantidad de metanfetamina. Por esa razón está la fiscalía pidiendo que se le retenga con una fianza de $50,000.
Counsel?
Abogado.
So Your Honor, we're asking for a pretrial services release. He indicated that he's been residing in the Tucson area for 10 years. He was able to provide an address, which is in the pretrial services report. And he doesn't have any prior criminal history. And so we believe that pretrial services release would be.
Nosotros, su señoría, consideramos que se le debe dejar en libertad bajo los servicios previos al juicio. Él lleva viviendo en Tucson en 10 años y él nos ha proporcionado una dirección donde vive y ese está en el informe de los servicios previos al juicio y no tiene antecedentes previos, por eso creemos que se puede dejar en libertad bajo los servicios previos al juicio.
Thank you, counsel. Based on the nature of the allegations, I do find the defendant is a danger to the community based on the quantity of drugs that were found and the alleged sales. I am going to order that he's held on $50,000 cash bond.
Bueno, gracias, abogada. Basada en la naturaleza de los alegatos del delito de que es un peligro para la comunidad y también por la cantidad de drogas que le fueron encontradas para la venta, se va a detener por una fianza en efectivo de $50,000.
And that's pretrial services if release if posted, no alcohol or illegal drugs, and monitoring by pretrial services. Your next court date is your preliminary hearing, March 24th at 1:30 p.m.
Y si llega a pagar esa fianza, debe ser dejado a cargo o en monitoreo de los servicios previos al juicio. No puede consumir alcohol ni ninguna droga ilegal, debe seguir el monitoreo según los servicios previos al juicio, y su próxima audiencia es una audiencia preliminar para el 24 de marzo a la 1:30 de la tarde.
Do you understand, sir?
¿Comprende eso, señor?
Sí.
All right, that's all for
Yes.
today. Thank you.
Eso es todo por hoy. Gracias.
May I be excused, Your Honor? That's
Yes.
my only one that, thank you.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, are there any other Spanish speakers? I believe that's the only one I have in my list.
That's the only one that I have.
And may the interpreter be excused?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. Interpreter will now disconnect.
Okay.
Ahora la escuela, por favor.
Good afternoon, sir. Is your true name Luis Martin Alcantar?
This one.
All right, this is a time set for a review hearing. You have charges out of Maricopa County. You are currently being held on a $1,000 cash or secured bond. That bond will remain. And your next review hearing is April 14th at 9 a.m. And that is to continue to review this case until your local charges are resolved so that Maricopa County can come and pick you up. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, that's all for today.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Where you going? Flores. Yes, Stephen. Mine. Yeah. Better this way. Flores. Attention, 33 parts. Smith. No, Your Honor. Oh, to you.
Good morning, sir. Is your true name Stephen Victor Flores?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, this is a time set for an initial appearance. You've been arrested on a charge of aggravated assault on a healthcare worker. We're also here on a city court matter, assault, where you have failed to appear for a previous court hearing in that case. I am going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you in the felony, and then we'll talk about the city court case after we're done with the felony. The state is recommending that you be held on a $5,000 bond. Is there anything that the state wishes to supplement?
Your Honor, this is just a case. Well, the state would like to note that he's an NVCAS. He's a 5 out of 5, and it looks like he was incredibly drunk and then tried to hurt the people that were trying to help him.
Okay, I'm looking at an NVCA 222. I don't know what you're looking at.
Sorry, that'd be a typo.
Okay, counsel?
We're asking for release to pretrial services, given that Mr. Flores doesn't have any prior felony criminal history, no prior failures to appear. He is, as the court noted, a 2 and a 2 on the pretrial services scale, and he's 50 years old, so we think he would be appropriate for pretrial services release.
All right, Mr. Flores, I'm going to give you a chance on the felony to be released to the supervision of pretrial services. You are to have no contact with the alleged victim in the case, possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. You're going to be monitored by pretrial. Your next court date is your preliminary hearing, April 3rd at 1:30 p.m. in Pima County Justice Court. Regarding the misdemeanor case, sir, because you failed to appear, I am going to order that you be held on $500 cash bond. You need to get to court and take care of that matter. Your next court date is March 21st at 1:45 p.m. for a pretrial conference. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, possess no firearms or weapons, no contact with the alleged victim in that case, and the Tucson City Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, that's all for today.
by, is this release? Or
You're gonna.
Chair.
Good morning, sir. Is your true name Christian Garcia?
Yes.
This is a time set for a review hearing. You're being held on a $2,500 cash as secured bond. That bond will remain. Your next review hearing is April 14th at 9 a.m., Pima County Justice Court. You have a warrant out of Maricopa County Superior Court for an assault charge, and we are monitoring your local charge until that case is resolved and Maricopa County can come and pick you up. Do you understand, sir?
Yes.
All right, that's all for today. Good morning, ma'am. Is your true name Brianna McNight?
Yes.
This is a time set for a review hearing regarding warrant out of Maricopa County. You're being held on a $500 bond. That bond will remain, and we'll keep reviewing this case until your local charges are resolved. Your next court hearing is April 14th at 9 a.m. Do you understand?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Give me paper for on this, but to know the death of my $500 bond is.
In the middle, all the way around to the first seat. Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Mr. Chase, you're gonna be the first one. Hey. Madam Chair.
Hi.
Good afternoon, sir. Is your true name Dylan Chase?
Yes, ma'am.
This is a time set for an initial appearance. You have been arrested on charges of domestic violence, disorderly conduct, 5 counts. I am going to appoint contract attorney Gary Grinkwich to represent you. I'm going to order that you be held on $1,000 cash bond. Your next court date is March 14th, which is that right? Is that today? That's what it has, today at 1. Hold on just a second. All right, your next court date is March 17th at 1 p.m. In Pima County Justice Court in front of Judge Foster. That will be for a domestic violence arraignment. If you do post the bond, sir, you are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, even though you are underage, no acts of domestic violence, no firearms or weapons, no contact whatsoever with the alleged victims in this case or their residence or workplace. There's 3 victims, Matthew Doan, your mother, Michelle Chase, and your grandmother, Joyce Hall. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, that's it for today. Thank you.
Contreras.
Good morning, ma'am. Is your true name Brittney Michelle Contreras?
Good morning, yes it is.
All right, this is a time set for an initial appearance that was continued, it looks like from yesterday. You have been arrested on a Pima County Justice Court shoplifting case, and then we also need to talk about some city court cases where you have failed to appear.
With those, the assault charge was from months prior, several months ago, and I went to jail at the time of that incident.
Ms. Contreras,
And
I'm going to ask you not to speak. You have an attorney next to you. Anything you say now can be used against you. So I understand it's an old case, so I'm going to ask you not to speak about it though. Because you have failed to appear though, I am going to order that you be held on $500 cash bond in that case. Your next court hearing is your pretrial conference, March 21st at 1:45 p.m. in front of Judge Maldonado, Tucson City Court. You are to not go to the incident location. City Public Defender is appointed to represent you on those cases. That is a prescription drug possession, a theft, shoplifting, assault, criminal tampering, and disorderly conduct. So those will be on the 21st. And then on your shoplifting charge, out of Pima County Justice Court, I'm going to order the same bond, $500 cash. Your next court hearing is March 17th, and that's going to be at 1 p.m. in front of Judge Ball, Pima County Justice Court. Your attorney is Gary Grinkwich of OCAC. We're going to give you his contact information. You are to not go to the incident location. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. Do you understand, ma'am?
yes, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Virtual.
Good morning, sir. Is your true name Jonathan Parall?
Jonathan Parall, yes.
All right, good morning, sir. This is a time set for an initial appearance. Just a minute here. You have been arrested on a charge of domestic violence, assault against your wife, Cynthia. Sir, based on no criminal history here, I am going to order that you be released on your promise to appear. Your next court date is April 9th at 10 a.m. in Marana City Court. There's several conditions of release that you have to follow. No alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence, no firearms or weapons, no contact whatsoever with the alleged victim in this case. Do not go to the alleged victim's residence or workplace. If you reside there, you may return one time with a police escort to pick up any belongings. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
All right, that's it for today. Thank you.
Set court date.
Your Honor, could you repeat the date of the court for him, please?
Give me I think it was the 9th. Give me just a minute. April 9th at 1 p.m.
Yeah. And that's Morano, right?
Yeah, you'll get it.
Engle?
Hello there.
Good morning, sir. Is your true name Tyler Engle?
It is, Your Honor.
This is the time set for an initial appearance. You've been arrested on a new charge of domestic violence failure to comply with a court order. Let's see here. And you also have several other cases that we're dealing with out of Tucson City Court. They're not before me today. I am going to order that you be held on $1,000 cash bond. Your next court date is March 26th at 1:30 p.m. in front of Judge Millian, Tucson City Court. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, commit no acts of domestic violence, possess no firearms or weapons, no contact of any kind with the alleged victim or the alleged victim's residence or workplace. You may return one time with a police escort to retrieve any belongings. Your attorney is the city public defender. Do you understand, sir?
I understand.
All right, that's it for today. Thank you.
Molina, Jose?
Good morning, sir. Is your true name Jose Molina?
Yes, Your Honor.
This is a time set for an initial appearance. You've been arrested on multiple charges out of Tucson City Court for failing to appear from last year. Sir, because you failed to appear, I am going to order that you're held on $500 cash bond. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. Do not go to the incident location. Your attorney is the city public defender's office. Your next court date is March 21st at 1:45 p.m. in front of Judge Sergio, Tucson City Court. And these are for the charges of theft, possession of drug paraphernalia, theft, shoplifting, that's 3 counts of that, and then drug paraphernalia. These are all from last year. Do you understand, sir?
Yeah.
All right, that's all for today.
Who's guard?
Good morning, sir. Is your true name Christopher Pusar?
Yes.
All right, this is the time set for an initial appearance. You've been arrested on multiple charges: criminal trespass, obstruction, shoplifting, drug paraphernalia, multiple charges of criminal trespass. These are all where you have failed to appear for several cases. So because you have failed to appear, I am going to order that you're held on $500 cash bond. Your next court date is March 21st at 1:45 p.m. in front of Judge Hale, Tucson City Court. And that is for a pretrial conference. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. Do not go to any incident location. Your attorney is the city public defenders that's appointed to represent you. Do you understand, sir?
Yeah.
All right, that's it for today. Thank you.
Read your next, is that right?
Yeah.
Good morning, sir. Is your true name Christopher Reed?
Benjamin Christopher Reed, yes.
Benjamin Christopher Reed. Good morning. This is a time set for an initial appearance. You've been arrested on charges of criminal damage, domestic violence, and disorderly conduct, domestic violence. Sir, because you do not have any criminal history, I am going to order that you be released on your promise to appear. Your next court date is April 15th at 2 p.m. And that's going to be in front of Judge Millian. I'm sorry, that's going to be in front of Judge Sergio, Tucson City Court for an arraignment. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, commit no acts of domestic violence, possess no firearms or weapons. Your mother is saying she would like to continue to have contact with you and that would like you to return home. But remember that the release conditions are you are to commit no acts of domestic violence. That includes breaking things. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
That's it for today.
Truo.
Good morning, sir. Is your true name William Scott Wolf?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning. This is a time set for an initial appearance. You've been arrested on a charge of, let's see here, it's assault. Give me just a minute. So domestic violence, criminal damage, driving while license is suspended, and domestic violence assault. Sir, I am going to allow you to be released on your promise to appear, but there's several conditions of release that you need to abide by. You're also here on an older case, I'm sorry, a reckless driving case, it looks like. So your next court date for all of this is April 15th at 1:30 p.m. for an arraignment. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, commit no acts of domestic violence, possess no firearms or weapons, no contact with the alleged victim or her residence or workplace. If you reside there, you may return with a police escort to pick up any items that you own. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right, that's it for today. Thank you.
Your Honor, if I may advise the court, Daniel Stewart is refusing.
Okay. All right, we will see here. We'll continue Mr. Stewart to this evening's initial appearances. Give you guys back. Thank you. Oh, I didn't write that on there. Let me just several of them. Figures. Okay, so. Be right with you, sir. There we go. Thank you. All right. All right. Good morning, sir. Is your true name Hussein Abdukadir?
Yes, ma'am.
This is a time set for an initial appearance. You have been arrested for aggravated DUI with license suspended. I am going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. And it looks like you are on release for a federal case. I do not see a hold. What is the state's recommendation?
$15,000, Your Honor. This is his second DUI. He's on probation twice over, once by the feds, once by the justice court for a DUI. Your Honor, this person can't seem to stop driving drunk. He is a risk to the community. $15,000.
Thank you. Emily?
So, Your Honor, we're recommending release to pretrial services, given that he doesn't have any prior failures to appear, and he is a lifelong Tucson resident. So we believe he's going to show up for court, and we just ask for pretrial release.
Thank you, counsel. So Mr. Abdukadir, I do find that you are a risk and a threat to the community based on you're on probation for a DUI, you're on probation for a federal case, and now you're alleged to have drank alcohol and driven. So I am going to order that you be held on $15,000 cash or secured bond, pretrial services, supervision if posted. You are to, if you post it, you are not to drive without a valid license. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. You're going to be monitored by pretrial services, and you are not to drink and drive. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, that's it for today.
Oh, Your Honor, do we have the preliminary hearing date?
Oh, sorry about that. March 24th, 1:30 p.m., Pima County Justice Court. That is your preliminary hearing date, sir.
Altamirano? Sir?
Good morning, sir. Is your true name Alec Alimano?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, this is a time set for an initial appearance. You've been arrested on a charge of aggravated assault on a peace officer. I will appoint the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you. The state is recommending a $10,000 bond. Neil, anything else?
Your Honor, he's a 3 out of 2. He was told he was given several orders by an officer to step back to defuse the situation. And he thought it would be fun to spray a deputy in the face with a water hose. Your Honor, this sort of action should not be tolerated. $10,000.
Emily?
We think pretrial services is appropriate in this case, given that Mr. Altamirano doesn't have any prior failures to appear, no prior felony criminal history. He's a lifelong Tucson resident. He's employed in the HVAC industry. And so we think he would be a good candidate for release.
Thank you. So, Mr. Altamirano, I do find your alleged actions rather appalling. I'm going to allow you to be released to the supervision of pretrial services because you work and have no other history. But there's going to be several conditions of release. You're to not have contact, obviously, with the alleged victim in the case. Your next court date is your preliminary hearing, April 3rd at 1:30 p.m. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. You're going to be monitored by pretrial services. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, that's it for today.
Thank you.
Jamar Jones? Sir, in the back, all the way out to your far left.
Good morning, sir. Is your true name Jamar Jones?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is a time set for an initial appearance. You've been arrested for a charge of armed robbery. I am going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you in this matter. State is recommending a $50,000 bond. Mr. Poston?
Your Honor, he has an extensive history of armed robbery and plain old robbery. He is a continual risk to the victim. He is an NVCAS. He is a 6 out of 5. And in this incident, he is alleged to have stolen from a target. And then when confronted by an employee, he pulled a knife on them. $50,000.
Thank you, Emily.
If the court's not inclined to release him to pretrial services, we would ask for a more reasonable bond, given that he is indigent and these are allegations that for which he is presumed innocent.
Thank you, counsel. All right, so Mr. Jones, I do find that you're a threat to the community based on the nature of this allegation, as well as 2 previous, looks like robbery and armed robbery. I am going to order that you be held on $50,000 cash or secured bond. Pretrial services supervision if posted. Your next court date is your preliminary hearing, April 24th at 1:30 p.m. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. You'll be monitored by pretrial. No contact with the alleged victims in this case or the incident location. Do you understand? All right, that's it for today.
Lindsay Lewis.
Your Honor, can we just check on the last defendant's preliminary hearing date? Was it an April date that was given?
Let me look. Possibly, let me see here. March 24th?
March 24th. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Sorry.
All right, good morning, ma'am. Is your true name Lindsay Elaine Lewis?
Yes, ma'am.
This is the time set for an initial appearance. You have been arrested for a charge of aggravated DUI. I am going to appoint the legal defender's office to represent you. The state is recommending that you be held on $10,000 bond. Neil?
Second DUI within 6 months. She's a danger to the community. The pending DUI is a missed DUI that suspended her license, but she's driving anyhow, and she's driving drunk. 10,000.
Thank you, Emily.
We're asking for an opportunity for release to pretrial services, given that she is 53. She doesn't have any prior felony criminal history. And she does have housing. Additionally, she indicates that she is supposed to have surgery on her rotator cuff in the next week. And she is also supposed to be starting classes at the University of Arizona. And she does have financial aid secured for that. So she does have a lot of incentive to appear to be able to continue to pursue those things if the court does release her to pretrial services. And additional alcohol monitoring could be ordered if the court is concerned about the community.
Thank you, counsel. I'm not concerned about Ms. Lewis showing up, but I am concerned that she is on release for an extreme DUI with a pretrial conference in mid-April and has alleged to have done it again. So I am going to find that she's a danger to the community. I'm going to order that she be held on $10,000 cash or secured bond, pretrial services supervision if posted. So Ms. Lewis, your next court date is March 24th at 1:30 p.m. Pima County Justice Court for a preliminary hearing. If you post bond, there are several release conditions. Do not drive without a valid license. No alcohol or illegal drugs. Monitoring by pretrial services, and do not drink and drive. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, that's all for today. Good morning, ma'am. Is your true name Tiffany Martinez-Lane?
Yes.
Right, this is a time set for an initial appearance. You've been arrested for a charge of unlawful flight from a pursuing law enforcement vehicle, possession of drug paraphernalia, although I will note that that could be amended to possession of a dangerous drug for sale based on the interim complaint that I read, but for today it's paraphernalia. I am going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. We are also here on a failure to appear out of Pima County Justice Court for a driving while license is suspended from 2023. On the felony, the state is recommending a $25,000 bond. Neil?
It's a 6 out of 6. She fled the police, and the state absolutely anticipates additional charges because it is alleged she had 26.283 grams of methamphetamine.
Thank you, Emily.
We're asking for pretrial release. She is a lifelong Tucson resident. She has verified housing with her grandfather. And her criminal history is all nonviolent, so we would ask for pretrial release.
Thank you. All right, so Ms. Martinez-Lane, based on the allegations here, I'm gonna find that you're a risk to reoffend, threat to the community. I'm gonna order that you be held on $25,000 cash or secured bond, pretrial services if posted. If you do post the bond, you are to not drive without a valid license, possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. You'll be monitored by pretrial services. Your next court date is your preliminary hearing, March 24th at 1:30 p.m. And then we need to talk about your misdemeanor case, driving while license suspended from a couple of years ago. I'll order that you be held on cash, $500 cash bond. Your next court date is March 17th at 1 p.m. Pima County Justice Court in front of Judge Foster. Again, you are to not drive without a valid license, no alcohol or illegal drugs. Your attorney there is Gary Grinkwich. We're going to provide you with his contact information. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Perez, Lorenzo.
Good morning, sir. Is your true name Lorenzo Tonito Perez?
Yes.
This is the time set for an initial appearance. You've been arrested for felony charges of possession of a narcotic drug, possession of a dangerous drug, possession of drug paraphernalia. We are also here on multiple city court cases where you have failed to appear, interfering with the judicial proceeding, possession of prescription drug and paraphernalia, criminal trespass, multiple charges of criminal trespass. So for the felony, sir, I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. The state is recommending that you be held on a $7,500 bond. Neil?
Your Honor, he is 6 out of 6. He is an NVCA, yes, and he has as the court mentioned, he has an extensive history of petty crimes, but he also has a history of burglary and ag assault kidnap that was downgraded for more serious charges. The state believes he is risk 7,500.
Thank you. Emily?
Given that this is a simple drug possession case, we would ask for release to pretrial services. He is steps eligible potentially. If the court's not inclined to do that, then we would ask for a much lower bond, only $500, given the nature of the charges.
Thank you. Sir, I am going to order that you be held on $7,500 cash or secured bond, pretrial if posted. Your preliminary hearing is March 24th at 1:30 p.m. There's an initial steps hearing March 20th at 9 a.m. If you post bond, you are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. You're going to be monitored by pretrial services. And then we need to talk about your city court cases where you have failed to appear. I'm going to order that you be held on $500 cash bond on all of those cases. Your pretrial conference is March 21st at 1:45 p.m. in front of Judge Hale, Tucson City Court. If you fail to appear, a warrant could issue for your arrest. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. Do not go to any of the incident locations. Your counsel is the Tucson City Public Defender's Office in all of those matters. Do you understand, sir? All right, that's all for today. Good morning, sir. Is your true name Christopher Perry?
Yes, ma'am.
The time set for an initial appearance. You've been charged with aggravated assault, criminal damage, leaving the scene of an accident with injury. I am going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The state is requesting a bond of $30,000. Neil?
Your Honor, this person was driving allegedly on West Picture Rocks Road. There was a bicyclist who was minding his own business and just legally, and was legally using the road. The defendant decided to flip off the bicyclist. The bicyclist returned it in kind. Then the defendant waited to get the bicycle to get in front of him, and then pursued the bicyclist, going so far as to swerve into him. A $15,000 road bike was destroyed, but the cyclist thankfully jumped clear with minor injuries. This is an incredibly dangerous stunt on the part of the defendant, and we believe he is a risk not only to the victim, but to the community. $30,000. He tried to mow somebody down.
Thank you, Emily.
Your Honor, he's a 1 and a 1 on the pretrial services scale. He doesn't have any prior criminal history. He's got verified housing and employment. These are allegations, and we don't know what happened. And so we believe pretrial services is appropriate.
Thank you, counsel. Appreciate the argument. I do see that he does not have any criminal history, but this is a very concerning incident. I am going to find that he's a danger to the victim and the community based on that. I'm going to order that he be held on $30,000 cash or secured bond, pretrial services if posted. Sir, if you post the bond, you are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, possess no firearms or weapons. You're going to be monitored by pretrial services. You are to have no contact with the alleged victim. Your next court date is March 24th at 1:30 p.m. for a preliminary hearing in Pima County Justice Court. Do you understand, sir?
Your Honor?
Yes.
The state would move for a prohibition on any THC containing products as well.
I believe it's no alcohol or illegal drugs. At this point in time, I'm not going to do the THC because I'm not going to, there's no evidence of that. So I'm just going to leave that. I don't know if he has a medical card or whatnot, but Emily, is there anything you want to say about that?
No, Your Honor. We would just ask, yes, no illegal drugs. And then if he does have a medical card, then he's able to do that.
Okay. All right. That's all for today then.
Truo.
Morning, sir. Is your true name Alexander Trujillo?
Yeah.
All right. This is the time set for an initial appearance. You've been arrested on charges of domestic violence, aggravated assault, deadly weapon, and disorderly conduct with a weapon ×2. I am going to appoint the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you. The state is asking for a $75,000 bond. Neil, anything else to add?
Your Honor, he threatened what appears to be his wife or partner in front of their 2 minor-aged children with the knife, threatened to stab her. The kids were convinced, apparently, that he was going to stab their mother, and eventually he decided to, of all things, stab her vehicle. Your Honor, this person has demonstrated that they are a danger at least to the victims, if not the community at large.
Thank you. Emily?
Mr. Trujillo has no prior domestic violence history, no prior felony criminal history. He's 40 years old. The alleged victim and him are not residing together, and therefore we think pretrial services releases.
Thank you. All right, so Mr. Trujillo, based on the nature of this offense, I'm going to order that you be held on $25,000 cash or secured bond. If you post that, you are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. You are to commit no acts of domestic violence, possess no firearms or weapons. You're going to be monitored by pretrial services. You are to have no contact whatsoever with the alleged victims, or their residence and workplace. Your next court date is March 24th at 1:30 p.m. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, that's it for today.
Mr. Trujillo.
Upchurch.
Good morning, sir. Is your true name Elmer Upchurch?
Yes, ma'am.
This is the time set for an initial appearance. You've been arrested on charges of burglary, 3rd degree, trafficking and stolen property, 2nd degree theft and criminal damage. I'm going to appoint the Pima County legal advocate to represent you. The state is recommending a $50,000 bond. Neil?
Your Honor, the defendant broke into a construction company's equipment yard, stole thousands of feet of copper wire, thereby causing tens of thousands of damages to their equipment, as well as untold additional losses in repair and lost productivity. Your Honor, this was a company that was contributing to the economy by providing jobs and building the infrastructure that we need. And this individual allegedly decided to completely disrupt that for a couple $100 worth of copper.
Thank you. Emily?
And he does have, excuse me, I'm sorry, he does have prior felonies, pending felonies, and a history of failing to appear. He's a 5 out of 4. Sorry.
That's okay. Emily?
So Mr. Upchurch does have verified employment and housing through his supervisor. So he must be a good employee. His supervisor is willing to vouch for him. This is a nonviolent offense. If the court's not inclined for pretrial services release, we would ask for a lower bond, no more than $2,500.
You appreciate the argument, counsel, but I do agree with the state on this. I'm going to order that the defendant is a danger to our society. It looks like a lot of damage was caused. I'm going to order that he be held on $50,000 cash or secured bond, pretrial services if posted. Sir, if you post the bond, you are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. You're going to be monitored by pretrial services, no contact whatsoever with the alleged victims or the incident location. Your next court date is your preliminary hearing, March 24th at 1:30 p.m. Pima County Justice Court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, that's all for today. If you have any questions, sir, you can talk to your attorney.
Okay. Well,
Good morning, sir. Is your true name Greg Welch?
Yes.
This is the time set for an initial appearance. You've been arrested on charges of possession of a dangerous drug, possession of a narcotic drug, and possession of drug paraphernalia. I am going to appoint the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you. Based on your minimal criminal history and the nature of the charge, I'm going to release you to the supervision of pretrial services. Mr. Welch, you do have a court hearing next week on the 20th at 9 a.m., Pima County Superior Court. That's an initial steps hearing where you may be offered a diversion. That'll be in front of myself, Judge Hampson. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, and you got to stay in touch with pretrial services. And your preliminary hearing is April 3rd at 1:30 p.m. Do you understand, sir?
Yes.
All right, that's it for today. I'll see you next week.
Yes.
Good morning, sir. Is your true name Michael West?
Yes.
All right, this is the time set for an initial appearance. You've been arrested on charges of theft of means of transportation, burglary, 3rd degree, and you have a misdemeanor driving while license is suspended. For the felonies, sir, I am going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The state is recommending a $15,000 bond. Neil?
Your Honor, in this matter, one moment. He's a 6 and a 5. He has an extensive history of armed robbery, theft, and burglary. His prior felony convictions. Mandatory prison is likely, and he has lacking significant ties. 15,000.
Thank you. Emily?
We would ask for no more than a $5,000 bond, just given that it is a nonviolent offense and he does appear to be indigent, and we think that it should be a bond that he would have an opportunity to pay.
Thank you. So, Mr. West, based on the nature of these allegations and your extensive criminal history of similar type of behavior, and this was a case where you're alleged to have taken somebody's car while they were at the bank and took off with it, I am going to find that you're a danger to the community. $15,000 cash or secured bond, pretrial services if posted. Next court date is March 24th at 1:30 p.m. If you post the bond, no alcohol or illegal drugs, monitoring by pretrial services, no contact with the alleged victim in the case, do not go to the incident location. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right, that's it for today.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Young.
Good morning, sir. Is your true name Ryan Young?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is a time set for an initial appearance. You've been arrested on charges of possession of a narcotic drug, possession of a dangerous drug, unlawful flight from a law enforcement vehicle, and possession of drug paraphernalia. I am going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you in this matter. And the state is recommending a $15,000 bond. Neil?
Your Honor, he's a 6 out of 5 in NVCAS. We're looking at a history of failures to appear. We're looking at likely mandatory prison as well as prior felony convictions and a rather assaultive history, Your Honor.
Thank you.
15,000.
Emily?
Your Honor, given that it's a nonviolent offense that is alleged to have occurred, and again, just given his indigent status, we would ask for a lower bond of $2,500.
Thank you. So, Mr. Young, I am going to order that you be held on $7,500, cash or secured pretrial services if posted. March 24th at 1:30 p.m. is your preliminary hearing. No alcohol or illegal drugs, monitoring by pretrial services. Do you understand?
Yeah, how much was that?
$7,500.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. And that is it for today. Thanks, everybody.
That is your turn. Thank